This video we are reacting to the dumbest YouTuber deaths ever recorded. Welcome back to another video. Hey, I'm spamming these painter videos, these stick man videos. Now this one's gonna be close to home because, you know, for the past 2 months I've been a YouTuber. So now I gotta watch how YouTubers have died so that I won't die the same way that these YouTubers have died, you feel me? So without further ado, let's get straight into this video.
She been comment me.
Ruiz III. On June 26, 2017, 22-year-old Pedro Ruiz stood in front of his pregnant girlfriend, Mona Lisa Perez, outside their Minnesota home. The couple had been working desperately to grow their YouTube channel, posting increasingly risky pranks to attract viewers. That evening, they were attempting their most dangerous stunt yet. Pedro held a hardcover encyclopedia against his chest.
I think I heard this
the book
before.
would stop a bullet. Mona Lisa, following his instructions, aimed a Desert Eagle 50 caliber handgun directly at him from just 1 foot away.
A Desert Eagle? Nah, what'd they say?
Aimed a Desert Eagle 50 caliber handgun directly at him from just 1 foot away. Their 3-year-old daughter was nearby, watching. The Desert Eagle is one of the most powerful handguns in the world.
The Desert Eagle got a big bullet for you too. You load that bitch, it sound like you might as well shoot one of these. A shotty.
Each bullet travels at 1,500 feet per second, with enough force to penetrate a car door. Pedro believed the 1.5-inch thick book would protect him. He had tested it earlier by shooting at another book, but he hadn't verified the results. Mona Lisa hesitated.
So, you know, let me, this nigga's retarded. Oh my. So let me shoot this book, right? I'm gonna shoot a gun at me, but I'm gonna shoot this book first to test it. I'm gonna shoot the book, but I'm not gonna check it. So what kind of test is that? Now I'm gonna put the book in front of me without verifying the results and see if the bullet go through. It'll make it more interesting, see my reaction. And you know what? Why are you shooting this gun at me, pregnant girlfriend? Put my 3-year-old daughter behind and let her watch too. I think it'll be a good experience, you know?
Hesitated, expressing doubts about the stunt. Pedro insisted it was safe. "I can't do it," she said on camera. "I'm so scared." Pedro continued to reassure her. "As long as you hit the book, you'll be fine."
With Google Play Games, you can play
ads.
Unlocked.
This is so unprofessional.
Unlock
Subscribe.
rewards
This is
with Google Play
unprofessional.
Points.
6:30 p.m., she pulled the trigger. The bullet tore through the encyclopedia as if it were paper. It struck Pedro directly in the chest, creating a wound channel through his vital organs. He collapsed immediately. When paramedics arrived, they found Pedro unresponsive with a massive wound to his torso. He was pronounced dead at the scene, his final moments captured on the camera that was still recording for their channel. Shvdal Sharma.
Don't upload that. That's past TOS, terms and guidelines, YouTube policies, YouTube short policies. Don't post that.
January 18th, 2020, 67-year-old retired railway worker Shvdal Sharma was filming content
Wait, she didn't get arrested? Why didn't she get arrested?
67-year-old retired railway worker Shvdal Sharma was filming content for his small YouTube
Shvdal
channel dedicated
Shawarma.
to rural Indian life. Having worked for the railways for 35 years, Sharma had developed a fascination with trains and frequently recorded videos near the tracks in Uttar Pradesh, despite the obvious dangers. That morning, Sharma positioned himself approximately 30 meters from the tracks near Mathura Junction. He was filming the arrival of the Delhi-Mumbai Express, which would pass through at approximately 110 kilometers per hour. His camera was set up on a tripod and he stood behind it narrating the approaching train for his 3,000 subscribers. At 10:47 a.m., the express train struck a cow that had wandered onto the tracks. The impact at high speed created a force of approximately 50,000 newtons, enough to launch the 400-kilogram animal into the air. The cow was propelled in an arc that tragically intersected with Sharma's filming position. Physics dictates that objects in motion remain in motion. The cow, now a biological projectile, traveled 30 meters through the air. Sharma had less than 2 seconds between the initial impact and his own fate. The footage shows his expression changing from concentration to horror as the bovine mass hurtled toward him. The collision was catastrophic. The cow struck Sharma directly, transferring most of its kinetic energy in an instant. The force shattered multiple ribs, which punctured his lungs and heart. His spine was severed at the 5th vertebra. Death was virtually instantaneous. His camera captured the entire sequence, including the moment of impact.
Death by cow. That's not a good way to go out. That's not a good way to go out.
Railway officials later calculated that the probability of such an accident, a cow being launched at precisely the right angle to strike someone standing where Sharma was, at less than 1 in 50 million. Ivan Lester McGuire, On April 2nd, 1988, experienced skydiving instructor Ivan McGuire prepared for what would be his 800th jump.
Let me guess. He recorded himself. He said, let me forget the parachute. I think he's about to forget the parachute and jump because he's excited. Because that's what I would do.
At 35 years old, he was no stranger to the dangers of freefall. That
Oh,
day,
he's
McGuire was
professional,
filming
though.
a student training jump for Franklin County Sport Parachute Center in North Carolina. Focused entirely on his video equipment, McGuire boarded the plane with his heavy VHS camera strapped to his helmet. The aircraft climbed to 10,500 feet. When it reached jump altitude, McGuire followed his student out the door without hesitation. The camera captured everything that followed. For the first few seconds, everything seemed normal. McGuire filmed the student performing maneuvers against the backdrop of Earth below. Then came a moment of horrific realization. His hands moved to his shoulders, frantically searching for parachute straps that weren't there. McGuire had forgotten to put on his parachute. The video showed his growing panic as he faced the unthinkable. He was falling 120 miles per hour.
Can you imagine jumping off a plane, going like this, and going like this for your fucking, you like, where am I? Who took my parachute?
With no way to slow down. His breathing became increasingly rapid as the ground approached. For 45 terrifying seconds, McGuire plummeted through open air, aware of his fate but completely powerless to change it. The camera recorded his final moments, including his desperate attempts to somehow save himself. The impact occurred in a field near Lewisburg. The force was instant and catastrophic, killing him immediately. When authorities recovered the camera, the footage revealed the full horror of his fatal mistake. The video became one of the most disturbing examples of a preventable death captured from the victim's perspective. Ruben Carbonell.
Oh my.
On July 5th, 2019, 24-year-old Spanish YouTuber Ruben Carbonell was determined to capture extreme footage for his growing adventure channel. He had built his online persona around dangerous stunts, seeking the adrenaline rush that attracted viewers. That night, under cover of darkness,
Some of y'all gotta chill. Some of y'all gotta chill with these channels or these adventurous. Y'all gotta relax. A nigga just got killed by a cow. A flying cow. And y'all are out here doing things because you want the adrenaline. Just think twice.
Factory in Alicante, Spain. At approximately 1 o'clock a.m., Carbonell scaled the fence surrounding the industrial complex. Security cameras captured him moving quickly toward his target, a 150-foot chimney towering above the facility. He carried a small backpack containing his base jumping parachute and a camera to document the illegal jump. Reaching the base of the chimney, Carbonell began to climb. The structure had no safety ladder, forcing him to use maintenance rungs attached to its side. For nearly 30 minutes, he ascended in the darkness, his movements increasingly precarious as he reached the top. At the summit, Carbonell set up his camera to capture the jump. He put on his parachute harness and stood at the edge. Without hesitation, he leaped into the darkness. What happened next was
At least this one ain't forget his parachute.
catastrophic. The parachute failed to deploy properly. Investigators later determined that either the pack was improperly prepared or the brief freefall didn't provide enough time for full deployment. Carbonell had no reserve chute. He plummeted the entire 150 feet without any deceleration. The impact was immediate and fatal, crushing his skull and shattering his spine. Factory workers discovered his body the next morning, the camera still attached to his helmet, having recorded his final moments in excruciating detail. Nishu
And this guy right there, that guy who did that, was the son of the guy who jumped off the plane.
Deshwal. October 28, 2022. 22-year-old Nishu Deshwal set up his phone on a tripod in a dusty field in Haryana, India. He had built a modest following on YouTube by performing increasingly dangerous vehicle stunts. That afternoon, he planned to attempt something no one on his channel had seen before. A wheelie on a 4-ton Mahindra tractor. Over 200 followers were watching his live stream as Deshwal climbed into the driver's seat. The massive agricultural vehicle, designed for stability rather than stunts, sat menacingly in the afternoon sun. Its enormous rear tires stood nearly 6 feet tall, each weighing over 400 pounds.
Oh my god, a tire 6 foot tall.
Causing black smoke to billow from the exhaust stack. "Watch this," he shouted to his audience. He slammed the accelerator to the floor and yanked back on the steering wheel. The tractor's front end began to rise. The physics of what happened next were inevitable. As the machine tilted backward, its center of gravity shifted drastically. Unlike motorcycles, tractors have no safety mechanisms to prevent full inversion. At approximately 75 degrees, the vehicle passed its tipping point. The tractor flipped completely backward. Deshwell had no time to jump clear. The roll bar crushed him instantly against
Oh!
the hard-packed earth. The massive weight of the machine, equivalent to 2 standard cars, compressed his chest cavity beyond what human physiology could withstand. His phone continued recording as horrified witnesses rushed to help. But there was nothing they could do. The pressure had caused catastrophic internal injuries, rupturing his heart and lungs immediately. Nishu Deshwell was declared dead at the scene. His final moments broadcast live.
Come on, Nishu. He was trying to have fun.
Adriano. On March 12, 2022, 27-year-old Filipino content creator Rogelio Adriano sat before his camera in Canangalete. Known for extreme eating challenges, Adriano had been struggling
Filipino
to
from
increase
Manila?
his subscriber count beyond 50,000. That day, he announced his most dangerous stunt yet, consuming an entire roasted chicken, bones and all, for 20,000 pesos or $400. The challenge had come from an anonymous viewer who promised to transfer the money once the video was posted. The Litzen Manak sat on a plate before him, its skin glistening under the lights. Normally, Filipinos carefully eat around the bones, but Adriano had different plans. I'll show you something no one has ever done.
He ate the whole thing?
Audience. For the next 45 minutes, he methodically consumed the entire chicken, crushing smaller bones between his teeth and swallowing fragments. Larger bones were broken and consumed piece by piece. His viewers watched in horror and fascination as he completed the challenge. 2 days later, Adriano began experiencing severe abdominal pain. He ignored it initially, attributing it to normal digestion. By the 3rd day, the pain had become unbearable. His girlfriend rushed him to Eastern Visayas Regional Medical Center, where doctors performed emergency scans. The images revealed the horrific truth. Sharp bone fragments had perforated his intestinal walls in multiple places. Bacteria were leaking into his abdominal cavity, causing a massive infection. Despite immediate surgery, the sepsis had already spread too far. Adriano died on the operating table as surgeons attempted to repair the damage. The pathologist later found over 30 bone fragments throughout his digestive tract, some as sharp as needles. His death certificate listed the cause as intestinal perforation leading to septic shock, all for a challenge that the anonymous donor never paid. High on Life Trio.
Damn. That could be one of the worst scams to go down ever in YouTube history. Legit. Whoever Annan is, that nigga made a new account.
July 3rd, 2018, 3 members of the popular YouTube adventure channel High on Life gathered at the top of Shannon Falls in British Columbia, Canada. Megan Scraper, 29, Alexi Lyak, 30, and Riker Gamble, 30, had built their...
Okay, not to be that person, but you are too old to be high on life and trying shit. His name is Gamble and Scraper. Skyscraper and Gamble. Last name. Get out of there. I don't know. I'm just putting pieces together. It don't look right.
500,000 subscribers by documenting their travels to exotic...
Oh shit. 500K. I might be out there too. No parachute. I might be out there too.
Locations around the world. The trio was filming near the edge of the falls.
Got bills to pay.
Skated down a series of pools before dropping 1,000 feet. The surface was slick with mist and algae. Scraper, standing closest to the edge, suddenly lost her footing on the slippery rock. She fell into one of the swift-moving pools just above the main drop. The current immediately grabbed her, pulling her toward the precipice. Without hesitation, Lyak and Gamble jumped in after her, attempting...
Are you stupid? You gonna chase her?
...to reach their friend.
I'm sorry. I'm such a good friend, right? But I might... If I see you fall in, and there's a 1,000-foot drop right there. Can't do it.
Before she was swept away. For a brief moment, witnesses saw the 3 struggling against the powerful flow, just 20 feet from where the water at the bottom of the falls. Autopsy reports indicated all 3 died from blunt force trauma combined with drowning. Their waterproof camera was recovered nearby, having captured the entire sequence up until the moment they went over the edge. Timothy Wilkes. On February 5th, 2021, 20-year-old Timothy Wilkes and a friend drove to the Urban Air Trampoline Park in Nashville, Tennessee.
I heard
Wilkes
about
had
Urban
recently
Air.
started a YouTube channel focused on extreme pranks, hoping to capitalize on the viral potential of realistic stage scenarios. That evening, he planned to film what he called a fake robbery prank in the parking lot. At approximately 9:25 p.m., Wilkes and his friend approached a group of people outside the facility. Both were wearing ski masks and carrying large butcher knives. They rushed toward the strangers aggressively, cameras hidden to capture reactions. What Wilkes didn't account for was Tennessee's permissive self-defense law.
Nigga came out with that, Came out with that, Watch, get this. Run up on a nigga and say, hey, give me your money. Hey, this is a robbery. Well, this is your life, nigga. Imagine doing that. You live in a state and you don't even know the laws about. You don't even think about open carry. Stupid.
Among the targeted group was 23-year-old David Starnes Jr., who was legally carrying a concealed firearm. Seeing two masked men charging with knives, Starnes drew his 9mm handgun. He fired 3 times in rapid succession, believing he was facing a genuine threat to his life. 2 bullets missed. The third struck Wilkes directly in the chest, penetrating his heart and severing his aorta. Blood loss was immediate.
That nigga got dumb aim. Third one's the charm. He's 1 for 3 right now, but that last one, he curried that bit.
Heart and severing his aorta. Blood loss was immediate and catastrophic. Wilkes collapsed to the pavement, the knife falling from his hand. His friend immediately broke character, screaming that it was just a prank, as he tried to stem the bleeding. Emergency services arrived within minutes, but the damage was irreversible. The bullet had caused a wound channel that medical professionals termed non-survivable. Wilkes was pronounced dead at the scene at 9:38 p.m., just 13 minutes after initiating
He was 21, huh?
Police later reviewed the footage from Wilkes' camera, which had recorded the entire incident, including the split second when he realized the prank had gone catastrophically wrong. Starnes was not charged, as investigators determined he had acted in reasonable fear for his life. Agaste Chauhan. On May 5th, 2023, 25-year-old motorcycle enthusiast Agaste Chauhan prepared for what would be his final YouTube video. With over 1 million subscribers, his channel, Pro Rider 1000, had become known for extreme speed runs on Indian highways. That morning, he mounted his Kawasaki Ninjas X10R on the Greater Noida Expressway near Delhi. Chauhan had equipped his helmet with multiple cameras to capture the speedometer and his facial expression. His goal, announced to followers the previous day, was to hit 300 kilometers per hour. The bike was capable of such speeds, but the public highway was not designed for them. At 7:30 a.m., with minimal traffic, Chauhan began his run. His motorcycle accelerated rapidly, hitting 100 kilometers per hour in just 2.7 seconds. As
oh my goodness!
Kilometers per hour, slight vibrations began affecting the bike's stability. Still, he continued accelerating. At approximately 280 kilometers.
What's that pole right there? I see a pole right there on the floor.
Chauhan encountered a minor imperfection in the road surface, a slight expansion joint that would be insignificant at legal speeds. At such extreme velocity, it was catastrophic. The front wheel momentarily lost contact with the asphalt, creating a speed wobble that engineers call tank slapping. The motorcycle veered violently toward a concrete divider. Chauhan had no time to react. The impact at such high speed created forces equivalent to hitting the ground from a 30-story building. His body was thrown 50 meters from the initial crash site. The carbon fiber helmet, designed to withstand impacts up to 180 kilometers per hour, shattered completely. Autopsy reports later confirmed.
Do y'all remember ever growing up you had a skateboard usually a skateboard, and you going down a hill or a bike and you start getting speed wobbles? You like Lil' Kim? You like this, right? That happened to me one time. I was going down behind Target, and you know that's where they load the what's it called. But going underground, you gotta come up like this. I was going down, fine. We fine. I'm on a longboard. Nigga, my shit start going like this. I'm like, oh shit! Slip off. Burn marks all right here. Burn marks all on my body. I was like 9. Nigga, I walked my burny skin. The air burned me. It stung. I walked home limping. Man, imagine doing that at 300 miles per hour. What did he say?
Chauhan died instantly from massive craniocerebral trauma. His cameras continued recording, documenting both the speedometer's final reading of 291 kilometers per hour and the horrific
180
impact in high definition. Brian Rickard. On October 23, 2013, 36-year-old Brian Rickard, known online as Yotzlaya, decided to expand his content beyond gaming videos. With over 800,000 subscribers, the YouTuber had built his following through Grand Theft Auto and Borderlands gameplay. That night, along with 2 friends, Destin Blake and Kevin Hall, he attempted to film something far more dangerous than virtual stunts. At 2:30 a.m., after consuming alcohol at a local bar in Evansville, Indiana, Rickard drove his 1994 Honda Prelude to a railroad crossing. His plan was simple but deadly. Race across the tracks just ahead of an oncoming train, capturing the near miss for his channel. The Norfolk Southern freight train was traveling at approximately...
Nah, that train looked like it don't play. That train looked like it does not. It means business.
60 miles per hour. Rickard positioned a camera on the dashboard. The train's warning lights began flashing as the crossing gates descended. Instead of waiting...
This that one train. This that one train from GTA. You can't stop it. You not stopping this shit. Why would you try and beat the train? Low key, that's natural selection. We didn't need you around on the Earth game.
Southern freight train was traveling at approximately 60 miles per hour. Rickard positioned a camera on the dashboard. The train's warning lights began flashing as the crossing gates descended. Instead of waiting, Rickard accelerated, attempting to beat the train through the crossing. He misjudged both his car's acceleration and the train's speed by mere seconds. The locomotive struck the prelude directly on the driver's side at full speed.
Oh
the
my!
impact generated forces equivalent to several thousand pounds of TNT.
Oh my goodness! TNT? Nigga! To get a representation of TNT, what is this, Toontown? What is this cartoon? This is Boomerang, Tom and Jerry shit, cartoon shit. That's how crazy this force is. TNT?
Simply stopped. It disintegrated. The vehicle was torn into unrecognizable fragments and dragged nearly 500 feet down the tracks.
Nah, I'd imagine.
The collision was so violent that Rickard and his passengers died instantly. The human body cannot withstand such extreme deceleration forces. Autopsies later revealed multiple severed limbs, massive internal decapitation, and traumatic separation of internal organs. Injuries consistent with high-velocity impacts. First responders described it as one of the worst accidents they had ever witnessed. The camera was found 200 feet from the initial impact point, its memory card still intact, having recorded the final moments before the collision, and the look of realization on Rickard's face when he knew it was too late. If you want to see more videos like this, click the video on screen now and make sure to subscribe.
Hey man, that's a W video. Appreciate y'all for tuning in. Like, comment, share, subscribe. If you like these videos, I got more. I did watch this one, Trick or Treat Death, 2 days ago. Posted it today. Appreciate y'all. I'm out.